Welcome to another Tuesday episode of ThreadTalk Tuesday, here with your host Denver and his co-host Teresa Opetisano.
Hello.
Today's episode is number 28, and it is with the theme of Ouch, This Hurts.
I'm excited.
Let's go. We're just gonna hop into it. That was a quick, simple intro for anybody who's new off of Spotify. I don't want to drag anything out or anything. Let's just get right into the stories.
All right, sounds
We
good.
got somewhere in between 10 to 14 stories for you guys, so buckle in and let's go for a ride.
All right, can I go first?
Yes.
Okay. This one comes from Best of Redditor Updates. Originally posted on Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for asking my friends what flavor their wedding cake is? I, 22 female, am in the wedding party of my friends that we will call M, 25 female, and Ro, 25 male, who will be getting married in about 2 months. I have been really excited for the wedding since it'll be an opportunity for all of our friends from college to get together for the first time in 2 years. Not to mention, M and Ro are my best friends, or at least I thought they were. We have a Discord for all of our wedding stuff, and they have a channel about food. They've been really good about being open about the food that they intend to have at the reception, including vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free options for everyone, and answering questions, so I didn't think there would be any contention if I asked a question. Anyways, about 4 days ago, I posted a message into the Discord asking, "Hey, what's the flavor of the cake gonna be? I want to mentally prepare myself, lol." I think looking back, my choice of extra words is what caused all of this. But I meant it in a sense that I have a long documented dislike of chocolate-flavored foods, like cake or ice cream. So I added it in the event that the cake was chocolate. I received a private message back that the cake would be chocolate, and that if I had a problem with it, then I could shove it, because it was their wedding, not mine. And I felt really taken aback by this response. Never did I mention that I would have been upset, and I certainly wouldn't have put up a stink about it. It's exactly like Emmett said. It's their wedding. I explained as much and tried to apologize for any offending I did, but she got even more offensive and started basically blasting me for implying that she was offended, and I was just left overall very confused. I gave it 2 days before I tried to apologize again and smooth it over, figuring she may have just been having a bad day. But I got shut down again, telling me she just didn't need my apology because nothing was wrong and I needed time to stop trying to make it seem like shit was wrong between us and to just drop it. I texted Ro to see if I could gauge what was going on since he and I had always had an open dialogue about things like this, but he basically just told me he couldn't talk to me right now, and I have to imagine it's because M told him not to. It's been 2 days since, and I'm just really confused. This whole thing has made me want to drop out of the wedding party and honestly not go at all. I wish Ro would talk to me and M would be honest. I can't help but think maybe I just don't get how stressful wedding planning is, and maybe they've gotten pushback from other people and other things, and somehow it's being taken out on me. Or is it really a big no-no to ask about stuff like this? I don't know. This is the first wedding I'll have ever gone to, so am I the asshole?
I don't think so. I feel like it's getting blown out of proportion a little bit. You just asked what the cake was gonna be, and didn't say anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're like, I hope it's vanilla because I hate chocolate or something. I don't know. You're the wedding expert, so
Me?
Yeah, you're always you're winning your choice, and you always have your wedding opinions. So what do you think?
No, I don't think she's the asshole. I think she's just asking a curious question. I think it's, for me, I always look forward to food. So I think that's a fair question.
Just curious.
What's the flavor of your cake? I don't know. I'm excited. Well, she kind of said it in a negative way. I'm trying to prepare myself. Whereas I would have been oh, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it so I can get excited.
Yeah.
Right? But, so yeah, maybe that has some negative connotations around it, but I don't think she's an asshole.
And they're already stressed from the wedding?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Overall verdict was asshole.
Oh.
But
Interesting.
it's because there's a couple comments in there.
Oh, okay.
User Ro apparently replies, "Hey Izzy, not surprised you didn't share the whole story.
Oh.
You never do.
Oh shit.
Just like last year's surprise party for M, TLDR, Izzy here spoiled the surprise and tried to claim my present was hers. I'm quote unquote Ro, the groom-to-be. I don't do Reddit, but my best man does and frequents this thread. He saw this post and it was so obvious it's you. This whole cake thing did happen, but it's not the whole story, and it did not go the way Izzy claims. First off, cake was not her only complaint. You refused to have a joint bachelor/bachelorette dinner party because, quote unquote, I have poor taste. And you said my suit was tacky because I wanted white and not traditional black. You whined about the bridesmaids' dresses being purple because you wanted ivory. Any decisions we've made there is always a complaint. And M has done nothing but be patient and try to find common ground. She should not have to change her wedding choices for you. Second, we never told you to shove it. M only messaged you privately because she was tired of having to argue in the group chat. Everyone else is tired of your bullshit too, so we didn't want to bother them with it. It's cake. Eat it or don't. You have hated me ever since I joined the friend group, and that's fine, but you will not ruin M's day because of your pettiness. If you care about her, then honor her decisions. Of course M is different, because she grew the fuck up. All of us did except for you. My god, you're fucking 22. Stop acting like a spoiled teenager. Chocolate cake will not kill you. By the way, asshole, I'm 26, not 25. Pay attention. I wasn't angry about this until you decided to go on the internet for pity. It's pathetic and immature. For the record, M double-checked my response. She signed off on it. Get it together.
Oh my god. I love it. Clap back. Oh my god. Yo,
This is back and forth.
she's like downplaying it, and this dude's like, why don't you share the full story? Where's the full tea?
Yep, so there's a couple of comments going back and forth. I'll just read all of it.
Okay.
OP responds, it's pathetic and immature to anonymously post asking for advice on Reddit, but you coming here starting shit and posting my real name isn't? Okay, Marcus, since we're not hiding anymore, how does it feel to have your shit aired for real? Here's how I know M didn't sign off, because she never would have agreed to using my real name. You're just trying to get me upset at her too. She's my best friend, and I should have known you'd do this. You always try to manipulate us into being mad at each other. Case in point, when I had planned this really awesome dinner for just her and I, and you had to plan her surprise party for the same day. I just wanted alone time with my best friend, but you couldn't wait one day for the party. M has known me far longer than you, and no offense, I'm sure I know her better than you do. But I've kept my mouth shut because I love her and I just want her to be happy. I complain about everything? Then how come I've never said anything about the hundreds of times you've made M cancel plans with me to go hang out with you? I just wanted my BFF to spend a little time with me. We're not allowed to have sleepovers anymore because it makes you uncomfy. Or take girls' trips for the weekend because it's too expensive. Sorry you can't take care of her like I can. Some of us can afford rent. Clearly, this was never about cake and more so about you hating me. I was fine when you joined the friend group, but you clearly weren't fine with mine and M's relationship. You've been the same towards some of her other friends who I'm sure would agree. Get a life, Marcus. Stop trying to take mine.
This chick sounds jealous for her
They
BFF.
both sound jealous.
No, I'm on Marcus's side. Like, this chick is just going off. Like, her best friend chose him. She's getting married to him. Like, oh, she canceled time with the BFF for the boyfriend. No fucking shit.
I don't. I think what she's saying is Marcus got kind of controlling, like not allowing sleepovers because it makes him uncomfy. Like, that's a red flag to me.
That's like the only one. The rest of it just sounds like she's just like causing drama and just
It could
saying
be
whatever she can say.
Yeah.
It sounds like she's jealous that
I think they're both jealous.
I think OP is jealous that her best friend's getting married and she's losing her. Like, get your own boyfriend, get your own spouse.
I think they're both jealous, honestly. And then
No,
there's
I
a
don't think
couple a couple other comments. So Ro apparently
No, it was Marcus.
replies. No, his username is Ro apparently.
Oh, okay, I like that. That's hilarious.
Yeah. She was fine using your name. You brought this into the internet, not us. If you didn't want this attention, don't post. The plan was for you to distract her while we set up the party by taking her to the movie, not going to the movies and taking her to dinner, and telling her of the party. We waited hours expecting y'all to be back. I have never once made M cancel. She's always did that on her own, and not frequently at all. You have had plenty of alone time with her. Just because she spends time with me too doesn't mean I'm forcing her to. And yes, a trip to multiple countries across Europe is very much too expensive. We already live paycheck to paycheck, which you know. I know money isn't a concern for you, but it is very much for us. Not all of us have apartments paid for by dad. Nobody else seems to think the same things about me, and if I'm wrong, I will gladly listen and change. But that requires communication directly, not anonymous Reddit posts. You may have known her longer, but you clearly don't know Em well. You fail to see how miserable your comments and attitude have made her these past few months. For her sake, knock it off.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you think M is happy? M's not fucking happy.
Yeah.
Like, out of the equation of these three, who's going to get dropped? The husband or the best friend?
Best friend.
The best friend's
Obviously,
getting dropped.
Yeah.
Causing a bunch of, sounds like bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, M makes her own choice. M chose to hang out with
That's what I was
her
thinking.
love.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was confirmed. And yeah, that's totally fine. I think, yeah, maybe OP is just jealous. And...
OP is mad jealous. That's the only thing OP is. OP is mad jealous. OP is twisting the situation to make her seem like in a good
Better.
light, to have the reinforcement of strangers.
Yeah.
Because on the surface, yeah, that comment, you're not the asshole. But when you look at everything else, this was the last fucking straw.
Yeah. And she lied too. They said that they didn't say shove it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
OP responds to that, quote unquote, paid by daddy, real mature asshole. You know I work hard like everyone else. It's not my fault my parents made better choices than yours and can actually help their kids. And of course, I wasn't just going to take her to the movies on her birthday. Aroused or not, it was still her birthday and she's my friend and I love her. And I wanted her to have an actually decent meal other than the shitty pizza you bought for her. Also, yeah, maybe you didn't tell Em to cancel, but knowingly asking for plans when we had them is basically the same thing. Before you, she was fine. She had everything she needed. And for all of you in the comments saying I have a crush or want to fuck Em, you're delusional and know nothing about me. We're best friends. I love her. She loves me. Not my fault we have a natural chemistry that everyone over in the internet can feel, but it's not like that. Marcus, you're an asshole. You've been an asshole since day one. Just admit you're not the guy who can give her what she needs and move the fuck on and leave us alone. Bro,
OP's done. Like, if I was M in this situation, I'd be dropping OP. Like, first off, you're so entitled that you don't even recognize your own privilege of having your parents pay for your apartment, and then you have to go back and clap back on it's his parents' fault. Like, grow the fuck up. Some people have benefits. Just appreciate your fucking privilege. And then, what was the second part that I wanted to comment on this one? We have a love that can expand across the internet. Like, what?
That comment alone makes me feel like she's in love with her.
Yeah.
I didn't think that before.
You're mad jealous. Obviously, M knows what he's typing, so obviously M's on Marcus's side. The next comment from Marcus is going to be that you're no longer invited to the wedding.
Okay, so the next comment is actually so this is from Best of Redditor Updates. So the next thing that they're showing is a comment from someone else. Just another user asking OP, hey OP, did you really make a fuss because you wanted a bridesmaid's dress to be ivory instead of purple? And Ro, apparently, did you really make your fiance cancel sleepovers because it made you uncomfortable? Ro apparently responds, no, I never made Em cancel anything. I'm fine with her having sleepovers. Izzy wanted to do it at our apartment and kept begging Em to have me sleep on the couch so I wouldn't ruin girls' night. For the record, Em shut it down, not me. She's capable of making her own decisions. I trust her to set her boundaries. If I came off as uncomfortable, Izzy never mentioned it till now.
OP's delusional.
Yeah.
I'm sorry he doesn't want sleepovers because he has to sleep on the couch. If you asked me to do that too, I'd be like,
no.
Why don't you go have a sleepover at her fucking house? Her paid for fucking apartment by her parents. Also, the other thing I was going to say was like, he made plans for her surprise birthday party. Mm-hmm. And she was like, they're not good enough. I'm taking her to the movie and a dinner.
Yeah.
You knowingly went against his plans.
Yeah.
Like, Em was probably pissed off at you after. She's like, what the fuck? Like, he had plans. You had us wait. You had me take me to fucking dinner. I like fucking pizza. What is your problem? I'm surprised OP is even still in the equation here.
Yeah. So OP doesn't actually respond to any more, but someone else comments, Does M even still want Izzy there? Because Izzy is sounding more and more unhinged. How does she try to steal your birthday present to Izzy? And then Ro apparently replies, M still wants Izzy there. They've been friends for years. I won't kick her out, but I'm starting to reach a point where I want it. And no, she didn't steal it. She claimed she purchased the gift because, quote unquote, I was too poor to afford it. It was a rather expensive purse M eyed once while shopping, but couldn't get it at the time, so I saved for it. Final comment by Ro apparently. You're proving my point. I'm not going to argue over Reddit anymore over this, especially if you're going to talk about my parents like that, when you know full well why they aren't rich. Either message us in private or drop it altogether. If this is how you really feel, don't bother coming to the wedding.
Yep, exactly.
Woo! I didn't read all those comments, but I just read the first couple. And at first I thought they were both jealous, but no. OP is unhinged. She's crazy.
That's
and
wild.
I think she is in love with her. Like
oh, absolutely.
Like
without even knowing it.
Yeah.
Like without knowing it, for sure.
So I put this one in this category because they went deep. They cut deep with some of the comments, like some of the jabs.
It hurt.
It hurt. I was like, ooh, that hurt me.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I love ones like these where like OP gets found out and they get like aired out. Oh my God.
I love it. That was a good opener, a good strong opener.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on. Back to me. This one is coming from Am I Wrong? It was posted 16 days ago. Am I wrong for asking my wife to keep me updated? Okay. So my wife and I have very demanding jobs that take most of our time. She has a more active social life than I do, and that's fine. She goes to dinner with her friends for drinks. Although it bothers me that she spends more time with them. And what really gets to me is that she never tells me her plans. I get that sometimes they are spontaneous and things are spontaneous and change, but I would appreciate it if she just sent a simple text saying, hey, going with so-and-so to grab a drink. But that never happens. She says that she does it like that because she doesn't want to deal with my attitude. Like tonight, she had a work function, so I checked in to ask what time she'd be home. She responded with, I don't know. This ends in an hour or so. We are still here. Well, that was 3 hours ago. We share each other's locations, so I know where she is. She is no longer at the event place, but somewhere else. Am I wrong if I text her and ask for an update? Am I wrong to be upset that she never communicates with me?
I think there's probably more to the story.
All right, I feel like there's not enough information.
Yeah, because it sounds like her saying, like, I don't want your attitude. That's telling me that he's gotten mad before.
Right?
About her going out and stuff.
Other situations.
Yeah.
But I mean, like on the surface, like, kind of hurts if your partner in life can't even communicate with you when they're going out.
I just don't think that this relationship is compatible.
I agree. And maybe not. Yeah.
Because if you like don't want to deal with his attitude, that's reason enough to like break up with them, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's not breaking up, it's be divorce.
Sorry, they're married?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wife and husband.
I missed that.
I just feel like there should be more communication here.
Oh, especially if they're married.
Like I'd be hurt.
Yeah.
If you never wanted to tell me when you're going to be home or where you're going.
Yeah.
Or you can't keep me updated.
No, I would not like that either. Like, yeah, I always just want to know where you are just for like safety reasons too. Like,
yeah, it's the worst part is like
you're waiting on them.
She's like, you have my location, you know where I am, but it's like I'm just
it's nice just to No, I totally understand OP. But yeah, I don't know. It also begs the question of like, how often does she do this? Like, how often does she go out like without him? Like maybe it is like an issue in their relationship. I don't know.
Sounds like she's trying to get away.
Yeah.
Top comment. I don't think you really need anyone to validate your concerns here. You know the answer.
Yeah.
And then someone else says, feels like there's another side of the story that we're not being told here.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, exactly. I got those vibes.
Yeah, this one's tough without the wife's side, I think.
Yeah, I
But
feel like
regardless, even if we have her side, like I don't think that they like no matter what she says, like I don't think that they're compatible. Like
it sounds like
I think
something is going wrong here.
yeah.
Yeah, there's another comment that says, this would really bother me. It's fine to go to do stuff, but in my personal opinion, when you agree to merge your life with someone else's, you say goodbye to some of your freedoms in favor of a polite communication of your expected whereabouts and timelines. My husband tells me he's going out with friends. Sure, that's fine. But if he won't tell me who or where or how long when I ask, even just a rough estimate, it would bother me a lot. It's okay to text for an update. How hard is it for her to text back? I had a hard time keeping my husband updated when I started going out drinking with my friends. I wasn't doing anything wrong, just hanging out with my girlfriends and dancing with them, but I would drink too much and forget to text. I would respond when he texted me, though, and I would say yes to continuing to drink. I have alcoholics on both sides of my family and discovered I could quickly become one as well. So I stopped drinking socially in bars after a few times. Not because he told me so, but because I saw the problem it was causing and I love my husband and I value my marriage.
Yeah. I think anyone in a long-term relationship would just appreciate updates like that. Like I
Yep.
feel like that's normal
Exactly.
to want those. So yeah. I don't know. I feel like he's kind of being gaslit too.
Yeah. Like I always try to update you and like sometimes like I mess up a little bit. I messed up a couple times like
In the beginning
not
of a
keeping updated.
relationship.
Apparently I'm still dumb enough I still do some shit like that
When?
lately. Well, when we were in California on the motocross day. I was like hanging out by the track and I forgot to think that like I should come back and let you know that I was taking a break and watching the riders on the track. And I forgot in my head that you're going to be thinking I crashed because I haven't come back to the car yet. And I was like just chilling and watching people riding on the track. We're not like a texting communication, but in my head, I should have been like, Teresa's waiting for me to come back to the car. I've been out riding the dirt bike. Maybe she thinks I'm going to crash.
It was a long time.
Yeah. Because I was taking a break in the shade on top of the bike, just waiting to go back out, watching the people rip around the track.
Yeah, I was panicking.
Yeah. And that's like on me. Like I should have communicated. And if there's been other situations where like I've been out and you've been texting me and like sometimes like I look at my phone and there's like 3 or 4 mixed text messages or something like that.
I don't think that's happened recently.
Not recently.
But in the beginning of our relationship,
like there was other times and like
learning curve.
Yeah. And you're like panicking and stuff. And yeah, it's being in the relationship. Like I've agreed to keep you informed of what's happening. And sometimes it's not always possible to reply right away. There was the one time when I was at work and you like called me 3 times in a row and I didn't pick up because I had customers at my desk.
Yeah, that's because I got nail polish remover in my eye.
Yeah. And then you let me know. And you're like, if you see me calling 3 times in a row, like it's a fucking emergency. Like I know you're at work.
I was going to the hospital because I got nail polish remover in my eye.
You're like, I know you're at work, but if I consistently keep calling you, like you need to tell your clients, like, I think this might be an emergency. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
And like pick up your fucking phone.
Yes. I ended up being fine. I just flushed it out with water.
Teresa is very quick to like panic and
I'm
say, we need to go to the hospital.
No, I rarely go to the hospital.
Okay, then
I've only gone like 2 times in my life.
Okay, I'll dial that back down and just say you're quick to panic.
Yes, I'm a hypochondriac. But, okay, so what happened was Denver got me nail polish, a bunch of nail polish that Christmas. This was like 4 years ago now.
No, 5. This is when we lived in Regent Park.
Yeah, okay.
This would have been end of 2019.
Yeah.
4.5.
And so I was cleaning and then I knocked over the nail polish and it went all over like the edge of the wall. So I had to get like nail polish remover and I soaked it, like the pad soaked it. And when I like put it against the wall, it literally squirt up back into my eyeball. And it like directly in it, like a lot of it went in there. And I started panicking. I called my mom. He was at work. I called my mom. And my dad told me to go to the hospital. he was Googling it. And when my dad doesn't freak out about anything. He's not a hypochondriac. Like, he is like very like level-headed when it comes to that stuff. So when he told me to go to the hospital, I was like, fuck, I need to go to the hospital. Like, I'm gonna lose my eyeball. Like, I was freaking out. So then I was calling Denver, and I knew, like, yeah, you could have been like with a client, but I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you need to freaking come home, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I panicked, and it ended up being like all they were gonna do was flush my eye out the same way that I did. And by the time they actually saw me, because the lineups in emergency in Canada is insane.
Yeah, and I just want to say that 5 minutes later I called her, and then I left work early, and we went to the hospital together.
Yes.
And I got home, and I was like, babe, I don't think we need to go to the hospital. Like, it's just nail polish remover. Like, rinse your freaking eyeball in the sink, and you'll be fine. But I didn't want to be like the one who's like, because Teresa, gets in her head a little bit, and I don't want to be the one to be like, no, this is completely fine, when I am also not 100% sure. So I'm like, if it makes you feel better, we can go to the hospital. We go to the hospital. We don't see a doctor for 3 hours. About 3 hours after she put the nail polish. We're sitting in the waiting room for like 45 minutes. And eventually she goes like, I don't really feel it anymore. My eye's fine. And then 45 minutes later, we're still hanging around. They put the dye in it. They're like, yeah, your eye's fine.
Yep.
Give her some eye drops.
But like, I feel like I got lucky, but I didn't know that it was going to be okay. Like, I think it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I wouldn't change my mind. Like, if that happened again in the future, I would do the same thing.
Oh, I was going to say, I think if you put nail polish remover in your eye again, you would be fine. You just rinse out your eye. We don't need to go to the hospital.
No, I think just to be safer. Like, what if I lose my freaking eye? Google was saying, like, you need to go to the hospital because it's like really, really bad.
Oh, okay. Well, I think the Google didn't know how much exactly went in your eye. A couple little drops went in your eye.
No, a lot. You weren't there.
No.
Don't gaslight me.
I wasn't there, but I'm just imagining sponge, you press it up against the wall. There's only so much that could projectile into your eyeball.
It was a lot. Whatever.
Yeah, and then there's pink nail polish fucking all over the bathroom when we came home and had to clean it up.
Yep. We didn't have the cats at the time.
This reminds me of when I had to go to the hospital for eating glass. Teresa was meal prepping my meals. Makes this great, like, chicken something.
Ooh, I haven't made that in a while.
Yeah, I had like this nice sausage to it, and
it was like
the
sweet
rice,
and sour sauce.
Sweet and sour chicken rice bowl. And we had switched over our Tupperware from plastic to glass because the plastic, like seeps into your food after a while, and the glass ones are supposed to be better for you, so the plastic doesn't seep in. But when you stack the glass ones on top of each other in the cupboard, because you got to have like 8-10 of them, one of them like chipped a little bit, and it went in, and I'm just eating the food. Num, 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 num. Eating the food. And then I get this like crunch. I feel this crunch. And I was like, oh, what was that? And then I'm like, continue eating. And then I get another poke. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I grab a piece and I pull it out in a clear little shard crystal with 2 pointy ends on it. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then as I pull my fingers out with the shard, there's blood on my fingers. So I'm like, I just kind of spit my food out and onto the Tupperware lid, and it's just pure blood. There's just so much blood coming out of my mouth. I didn't really like hurt. It was like a little prick, but then I just couldn't believe how much blood was coming out of my mouth. And I was like, holy fuck. I literally just got to work. Like, this was like an afternoon shift. I get to work a little bit early, or like I get to work, and then with like half an hour of working, I go and I take my first break and I eat my lunch. Mm-hmm. And I go to my manager. I'm like, I think I just ate glass. I'm spitting up blood right now. I have a cut in my mouth. I'm going to go to the hospital. They're like, oh, okay. I go to the hospital. I sit there for like 45 minutes. And they're like, any other pain or anything? I'm like, no, right now I'm fine. I'm like, okay, well, like, there's no real. We'll take some x-rays. I don't see anything. But like, if you did have glass, if you did eat some glass, like, you would be torn up right now and it'd be causing a lot of pain. So if you don't have any pain, we think you're good. So then it was just that one little piece. And then I was able to like take that piece and like put it right into the spot on the Tupperware. Yeah. So now whenever I put anything in Tupperware, I flip the Tupperware upside down, the glass one, flip it upside down. I run my hand around the inside just to make sure that there's no loose glass pieces.
Yeah. That one caused me some trauma too. I'm sorry.
I couldn't eat that. We had like leftovers of that same stuff. I couldn't eat any of it.
Yeah.
There was like 3 more. And like, it gave me like very, very minor like PTSD of like eating from those Tupperware containers. Like, eating glass to me is like one of the worst things that I could ever think of. Like,
Yeah.
that could happen to you, like just crunching on glass and it cutting you open as you're eating.
Ugh.
It's just it's like a Saw movie. But like all the other times that I was like eating the rest of the Tupperware out of that bowl, like for like the next like 3 or 4 weeks, I was mentally in my head where I'm like scarred. I'm like, am I gonna like eat on more glass
Yeah.
here? Like,
I'm sorry.
oh, it's okay. I don't blame you. It's not your fault. You're not like, I'm going to clip this off and enjoy eating glass. You know, it reminds me of that story the one time. There's a video that was like across Facebook. And it's like this old guy and this lady, and the old guy is like, bring me a sandwich, bring me a sandwich, bring me a sandwich. And the chick keeps bringing a sandwich. And then she spits in the sandwich and he just eats it, doesn't notice. And then she keeps putting more things in the sandwich and he just keeps eating it. And then she puts glass in it.
What
and then
the fuck?
he's like, just nom 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 nom. And then I think they showed it and like she was dead and he was delusional and there's like sandwiches everywhere. It was like a short horror film story that was on
What?
Facebook. Wonder if
Your algorithm is weird.
I don't know. I'll try and find it and
No, that's
show it to you
alright.
so you know what I mean.
No, that's all right.
I'll leave a link in the YouTube description if you guys want to go check out that video. I found it. It was a short horror film, 3 minutes long. I'll leave that in the description if you're curious about what I saw. Teresa just watched it.
I didn't like it. Did not enjoy it.
All right, let's move along. Back to you.
All right. This one comes from Am I the Asshole? Posted 1 year ago. Am I the asshole for not moving my wedding date? My fiance and I recently got engaged, and when I was looking for dates, we realized our anniversary falls on a Saturday this year. Perfect, right? We immediately start planning because it's approximately 9 months out, and we have to move quick to pull a wedding together. We told everyone the potential date this weekend, and they all seemed well. Monday, I got a phone call from my father. He insists that I move the date because my mother has a yoga retreat that weekend. I tell him that this date means a lot to me and I would prefer to keep it there, and if there's any way to move the retreat. There is, but it's expensive. I offer to pay for this change out of the wedding budget, essentially having the amount that I can spend on the most important event of my life. Yesterday, I was told they would not be taking my offer to pay to move the retreat and that we're expected to move the wedding instead. I haven't put money on the venue yet, so they think it should be fine with giving up the chance to marry on the date that means a lot to me. It became a massive fight, and now my parents and I aren't speaking. My father accused me of caring about a date more than I care about my mother. I told him that it felt as though they were choosing a yoga retreat over their own daughter.
Yeah, you're literally choosing a yoga retreat. How do you have a yoga retreat booked 9 months out? And why would you choose a yoga retreat over your daughter's wedding?
She's gonna pay for it too. Like,
That shouldn't even need to.
I know she shouldn't need to, but she's doing like a really nice thing and saying like, I really want you there. This is a really important date for me. So important that I'm willing to half my wedding budget to get you guys to come on that date. Like,
that sounds insane to me. That sounds absolutely insane.
she shouldn't have to do that.
Should not have to do that. You're her parents. You're choosing a freaking yoga retreat? Mm-hmm. What?
Yep.
Like what?
Yep.
How? Why?
I know.
I'm so confused.
So there's an update.
Good.
Posted
Tell me.
21 hours ago. So the original post was 1 year ago.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
So probably like after the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Hey everyone. It's been a while. I forgot my password, but a few people asked for updates on how my last post turned out. Unfortunately, a lot of you may not like the answer. Almost all of you said not to change the date and to enjoy my time without them there. I followed half of the advice. I eventually did relent to my family and changed the date of the wedding. My fiancé, now husband, said that the date wasn't as important as my happiness and that fighting with my parents was destroying that. Now, after 6 months, we both wish we hadn't because it was useless. They still didn't show up. Not only that, but they convinced 90% of my family not to show up either. I ended up with only 4 relatives there in the crowd of about 100 guests. My mother claimed that I had been excluding her from planning by scheduling venue tours on days that my fiancé and I were both free, but I didn't realize she was working, and by finding my dress by surprise on a just here to look trip without her being there. They hadn't shown any interest in planning, so I mainly didn't want to bother them. To them, this was clearly a sign that you don't want us to be there. So they went out of town on the new date. In the end, Narcissist mother still got her yoga retreat, I still moved my date, and I still walked myself down the aisle. But my petty self did, in fact, strike back. I had an amazing time, and I made sure that I left obvious empty seats marked for them and told everyone the truth with a smile when they asked. The few family members that did show are now no longer speaking to them either, as are all of my friends who came. The only exception is my brother, who I'm pretty sure they asked to relay the details of the party to them, and even he has almost entirely cut them out due to how they acted. I haven't spoken to my mother since about a month before the wedding, when she told me to get all of my old things out of her house. I speak to my father very rarely, only over things like deaths in the family. My in-laws have basically taken me in as their own. I'm far happier than I ever was in the nightmare of a family I grew up with. Life is good.
Man, that hurts. Oh my gosh. What shitty parents. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a shitty situation, but it also like shows their true colors and gives you an excuse to cut them out.
Yeah, I know, but like, come on.
No, it's super shitty.
It's your daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah. It makes me think, like, what other shitty things have they done to
Right?
her? Like,
This sounds like the icing on the cake.
yeah, the last straw.
Tip of the iceberg or something.
Straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah. Oh, I feel for OP on that one.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep. But she seems to be happy with her new in-laws. So,
That's good.
yeah.
That's good. Hey, do you know what today's date is?
What?
You know what today's date is?
May 19th?
Yeah, you know what that means?
No.
What's happening 1 year from now?
Nothing.
We're getting married. Wouldn't this be like the flyout date or something?
No.
Or like tomorrow's the flyout date?
No, we're getting married. We're flying out the, I think the 25th.
Or I thought the wedding was on the 25th.
No, the wedding's on the 28th.
Well, whatever. We're almost 1 year away from us flying to our Italy destination wedding.
Yes, good try though.
My bad. Ah.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
Very excited.
Yay.
Yeah. All right. Moving along.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is coming from True Off My Chest. It was posted 2 months ago. I found out there's a chance my daughter isn't mine biologically.
Ooh.
I, 43 male, feel like my world is crashing. My wife, 41 female, and I have 2 kids, 15 male and 12 female. I love my kids and I love being a dad. I have stuff in common with both of my kids, but my daughter is like my little best friend. We get along so well and we have so much in common and our personalities just mesh well together. Looks wise, my son looks like both myself and my wife, but favors me. While my daughter looks just like my wife, seeing childhood pictures of my wife, she and my daughter could be twins. Now on to the story. So, last night, my wife and I were grocery shopping, when all of a sudden my wife goes pale and starts shaking a bit. I was freaked out. After 20 or so minutes, she calmed down, but after, she wouldn't talk to me or even look at me at all. Finally, at the car, I asked her what was going on. She then confessed that there was a chance my daughter wasn't biologically mine. Right around the time she would have gotten pregnant with our daughter, she had gone on a work trip. Well, on her last night on the trip, there was this guy she went to high school with, and they ended up talking and drinking, and one thing led to another, and they ended up having a drunk hookup. And just the timing of everything, there is technically a chance that the daughter I've been raising for 12 years isn't mine. That guy is the person she ended up seeing in the store, and that's why she acted the way she did. I'm getting a paternity test ASAP, and if I'm being honest, I haven't been able to look at my daughter since finding this out. My wife and I haven't talked really since, and I just let her know that I'm getting a paternity test, and I'm just in shock, honestly.
What the heck? She's just gonna drop that bomb in the grocery store? The hell?
Like when she saw him, I guess, yeah.
That's wild. So, sorry, were they together? Or not? Were they married at the time?
It says like they were together and she went on a work trip.
That's crazy. So she's like openly admitting to cheating. Trash.
Top comment, update us. So sorry. Don't blame the daughter. The cheater is your
Yeah.
wife. Best of luck.
I know that part made me sad. Like you can't look at the daughter the same, but
Right? OP replies and say, I know. I don't blame my daughter. She has absolutely no control over the situation. My wife cheated and didn't tell and could have cheated multiple times or just lied to me considering she kept that a secret for over 12 years.
damn, is there an update?
There is an update. Yes. So the original post was 2 months ago and the update was 16 days ago.
Oh,
So this is
okay.
about a month and a half later. Hi everyone, I know it's been a while since my first post and life has been extremely hectic. For all of those who didn't see the original post, I found out my wife had cheated and there was a chance my daughter wasn't biologically my kid because of the time of her affair and when she got pregnant and my daughter overlapsed. We got a paternity test done on both kids ASAP. I explained to both kids not only why this is needed to get done, but also that it doesn't change my relationship with them because I raised them and love them. We got the results, and let me tell you, they were not what I had expected. My daughter, who initially thought had the chance of not being mine, was my biological kid. Instead, I found out my son wasn't biologically my son. No. I questioned my soon-to-be ex-wife. Turns out she had an affair with my brother for a short period. I was in shock, to say the least. She tried saying she only cheated once before she became pregnant with my daughter. Now I'm finding out that biologically my son is my nephew.
Holy shit.
Since then, I made my ex-wife move out. My son decided to stay with his mom and hasn't talked to me, which I understand is confusing for all of us, and he's a 15-year-old boy. But I have texted him off and on, just letting him know I love him, and in my eyes, he'll always be my son because I raised him. My daughter is staying with me still. We are both in therapy after the whole situation. I've been trying to contact my ex-wife to get our son in there, but she hasn't returned any of my calls or response to my texts.
Holy shit. That's why he looks like him.
Yep.
That's wild. This girl's just a what's it called? Oh my gosh. What's the word? I can never think of words on this freaking podcast.
I don't know what.
She's a serial cheater.
Yeah, literally. Literally.
That's insane. How many others?
Right?
There's probably so many. For her to get pregnant or think she might have got pregnant by potentially 2 people, like there has to be so many more.
There has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God. Is there any other update?
No other update.
Oh.
I'm just going through the comments and
That really like will fuck up those kids. The son.
oh, especially the son.
Yeah. Like you were raised by your uncle.
Yeah, there's nothing else to add here.
15 is like such a bad age for that to happen.
Man, that
That's traumatizing.
kid's head is gonna explode.
Yeah.
That's like lashing out type of issues.
Damn. Oh my gosh.
Rough.
Yeah, that hurts.
That one hurts.
Any top comments?
Just top comment up the update would be your brother ? Exclamation mark. Man, no words. Sorry this happened. Remember, it's not the kid's fault, and there's a real chance of limiting the long-term trauma the son is about to endure by how he's treated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just try to get like ahead of it and get him in therapy as soon as possible, I feel.
Yep.
But yeah, it's kind of inevitable.
Yeah. Oh, that one
Damn.
hurts.
We got a lot of good update stories
Yeah,
this episode.
That hits you right in the heartstrings.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All
All right.
right.
Moving on.
Back to you.
This one comes from Relationship Advice. My 38 female husband, 39 male, hid having lunch with a coworker, 25 female, and said my food was tasteless. What do I do? I want this to be quick. I feel really weird about this, and I'm on the verge of asking for a separation. So I've been with my husband for 15 years, married for 11. Amazing relationship, small bumps of course, but nothing like this. I've always made lunch for my husband to take to work, and up until a little over a month ago, that was fine. Middle of March, he said that a new Turkish food stand opened up outside his office and that he had been eating lunches there instead because they were good. All right, no problem. So he just completely stopped asking for lunches. I had maybe packed 5 during this time frame for him, but I'm not even sure he was eating them now. So on Thursday, I was at home working and I had a phone call from him. Thought he was calling me during his lunch, but he had butt dialed me instead. At first, I didn't hear much, just him talking to someone, and I was about to hang up until I hear a woman's voice as well. I wouldn't say I'm a jealous person, but I was a little bit curious, so I muted my call at work and listened. It was just standard conversation at first. He was praising this woman's cooking a lot, which of course made me realize that he was eating lunch this coworker made. I was a bit peeved, but there's an explanation for sure. Although that went out the fucking window when she said, "Is it better than your wife's?" To which he replied, "Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's not tasteless to start," followed by laughing. First of all, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? 15 years of cooking and now he has a complaint? And not even to me, but some coworker? Also, that absolutely isn't innocent on her end, right? I'm not crazy in thinking that that's weird. Why even bring me up? Anyways, I raised hell, ended the call, sent him a message not to worry about my tasteless cooking anymore, and that he can eat from the bin from now on. He's apologized, said that he loves my food, and was just trying to seem cool in front of his coworker. I asked why he lied about where he was getting his lunch from. He said that initially he did get it from the stand, but the coworker started offering, and he didn't want to tell me because he thought that I would get jealous. Yeah, can you blame me? So I've been airing him since. I'm still pissed, to be honest. I haven't made him lunch or dinner, only for myself, since he said that he dislikes it so much. He said today that he's apologized and that I shouldn't keep punishing him, but I'm literally an inch from going to my mom's. I have a suitcase with all my clothes packed under our bed ready. Dad thinks it was a stupid comment, but that I should work it out. Mom is on my side regardless of my decision. I'm thinking about leaving for a few days at least, maybe a separation, but I honestly just want some reassurance if that's what's best here.
Man, that hurts. Okay. Do what you feel is right. I don't want to be the Reddit person that says leave them, separate them, over this. But like, what an asshole!
I would divorce over this.
Like it's 15 years. Like, I feel like it's definitely not unwarranted because like, how can you portray your partner like that to make a joke about them?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're making jokes about them behind your back, that's not a partner that I want.
Yep.
Friend talking shit behind your back, that's not a friend that you want. And you'd expect more of your partner. So there's consistent lying. Who the fuck is this chick?
Yeah, it's to me, that's not a friend. Why is she asking, "Oh, is it better than your wife's?" That's not a cool comment. That's not something that you ask a friend.
No.
That's like she is jealous of your wife because they're being flirty.
Yeah, that's flirty.
Yeah, which is grounds for divorce for me.
Yeah. No, I'm on board.
Like cheating for me doesn't need to be like physical intimacy. It's literally flirting. Like
There's more to it.
Yeah.
And that's definitely not all right.
No. Top comment. Now let's be real here. What are the odds the first time he talks about you negatively is the time he butt dials you? This has been going on since he stopped having you make him lunches.
Probably before. Like, that's so true. Like, what's the chance that this is the first time he should talk to you? And what are the chances over the last 15 years this is the first time he should talk to you?
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't with this chick, if you're going to talk about like this with somebody, you'll probably do it with somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Like, I would literally never talk bad about you to anybody.
Same.
Even if we're having like an argument or anything, like I never go to my friends or family and like
I never
say,
have.
"Oh, like needing to vent."
Yeah.
I've never had like the need to vent or anything like talk about you in a negative light ever. So I can like people who do that about their partners, to me, It's just like you don't
It's a lack of respect.
love them. Yeah.
And it's like little tip for your relationship, no matter how old you are, never talk shit about your partner to other people,
It's
because
never
then
okay.
they won't like them, and then they're going to have bad attitude. And if you change your mind and you go back to them, you look like a fucking idiot. Then the people that you love in your family and your friends, they don't want to be around your relationship. Then your relationship partner is like, what the fuck is happening? If you just keep your shit to yourself, your little disputes, keep that shit to yourself.
I agree.
We have disputes all the time. We fucking keep that shit in house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's our business.
That's right. It's our fucking business.
Except when we air it on the podcast, but
That's okay. That's why we do that. We give you guys a story so that you listen to us talk shit on each other.
it's mostly you just talking shit on me. But
That reminds me of the scene from Ozarks when he's asking the guy where he found out the housekeeper was stealing from him. What do? Do you forgive the housekeeper? Do you fire her? And he said, wasn't the first time the housekeeper stole from you. It's the first time she got caught.
yeah.
Boom.
Boom.
Fucking love Ozarks.
Okay, sorry. Since you brought up Ozark, I've been meaning to say this on the podcast because we talked about it before. We watched The Last of Us. I watched The Last of Us. Oh, it was so good.
Teresa's like, we need another season.
Yes. No, we do. I cried every single episode.
Well, because they make you attached to somebody and then they clip them.
It was insane. Before, like, Ozark was like my number one show. Like, in terms of like, I don't know, entertainment is a really good show. Right. I think Last of Us is like equal, if not surpassed.
I remember I watched The Last of Us by myself because I'm like, okay, when I asked Teresa if she wants to watch a show, I go through a couple qualifiers. I'm like, is there zombies in it? That's literally a qualifier. If there's zombies in it, no, Teresa doesn't want to watch it. Are people shooting each other and like action-based stuff?
It wasn't really action-based.
There's people shooting people in every episode.
Okay, fine.
So that's number 2. Is it like action based? Is there people dying? Is there shooting? Is there knives? Is there that kind of stuff? Teresa's not going to like it. Number 3, is it based on a video game? Those are like my 3 qualifiers that I go through. Teresa's not going to like it. So I watched it without her. And she's like, why'd you watch it without me? Why'd you watch it without me? And I could have swore when it first came out, I said, do you want to watch this with me? I'm like,
this probably did.
It is based on a video game. It's got zombies in it and there's probably going to be shooting and stuff. She's like, nope. Then she sees all the pop culture stuff about it.
The cult.
Yep, pop culture. And she's like, I want to watch it. So she watches it.
FOMO.
She absolutely loves it. And then now we moved on to House of Dragon.
Yeah, this one is a little tougher to get through. I just forgot. When I watched the first, like...
So we watched Game of Thrones. I watched Game of Thrones up to like season 6 all by myself. And the new season was coming out. And Teresa's like, I want to watch it. So then we binged all of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And I watched House of Dragon when it first came out because I asked Teresa and she's like, nope. And then I'm like, okay, well, the new season's coming out and I want to watch the new season. And you watched The Last of Us. So maybe we should watch the first episode of House of Dragon. And if you don't like it, I'll finish the rest of the season by myself before the new season comes out. And earlier today, she's like, let's watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I just forgot how misogynistic it is and how like dated it is, and it's just like triggering. But yeah, it's good. Like the drama's good.
Yeah.
And I like that it's a female lead.
Main character,
yeah,
she's badass.
She is. Yeah.
Although now we're on episode 7 now, so we have a new female lead because it's
her older self.
Older self.
But yeah, overall it's good. Sorry, we keep getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that because
I know.
we mentioned it before on the podcast that we were going to watch The Last of Us, and we had a couple comments about it. So just wanted to update you that we've watched it. I've watched it.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason we do this podcast is to tell people about our life and like what we're watching for TV and what we're eating, what we're up to.
That's not
and we just give them these Reddit stories to like fill in the gaps. But like that's the main part of this episode was that update right there.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, let's get some more filler in.
Let's get some more filler stuff in. Okay, back to me. This one is coming from Relationship Advice, and it was posted 12 days ago. My husband constantly doesn't show up for critical life moments. Does this mean that things are over? Trigger warning for this story, we're going to have talks of miscarriage. I, 33 female, have been married to my husband, 33 male, for 10 years. and we have 2 small children together. During this time, we've had a lot of ups and downs. However, recently, I have been evaluating some of the more critical moments in our relationship, and I'm just not convinced the love is there. There are key moments in our life when I would expect him to be present, and he chooses not to be. I will list a couple of things that are bothering me. Number 1, I had a miscarriage and had to have the fetus removed, which included being put under anesthesia. He chose not to be there for any of the procedure and just pick me up at the hospital at the end and drop me off at home, and then he went back to work, even though he knew I was terrified. Number 2, I had a second miscarriage where I passed the fetus at home naturally. I was in immense amount of pain and really scared. I begged him to come home from work, but he refused, leaving me to care for our 1-year-old alone.
What?
Number 3, his dad has constantly been rude and misogynistic to me. My husband never stands up for me and instead makes up excuses for his dad every time. Number 4, I got COVID really bad, but he again refused to take care of me and left me to tend to our 2 young children by myself while I had COVID.
What?
His excuses are that he just doesn't know how to act in high pressure situations. And I just feel so lost. I feel I've given up so much of myself mentally to make the family he wanted a reality. And whenever I need support, I'm just alone. He has apologized for each of these instances, but they continue to happen. I would love to hear a male perspective on this. Maybe I'm just not understanding his side of things.
No. It's giving weaponized incompetence by that comment.
Yeah.
And each of these issues on their own is divorce worthy.
Yeah. I mean,
but add it up 100%. Like, you need to leave him.
I am a male perspective, and I am in the opinion that this person is a POS, and you should leave him. And for anybody who's wondering, who doesn't know me well enough, POS means piece of shit.
I think most people know.
Well, just in case. I'm not happy with this guy.
No.
All these important life moments, like, dude, man the fuck up and show up for your partner.
Come on. Especially the miscarriage stuff. Like,
That's huge.
Like, that is a partnership thing. Like, you got her pregnant. She should not have to go through that alone. Yeah. Like, you need to be there for her. Come on.
Dude, she got sick with COVID. When your partner gets sick and you have kids, you take time off work because you have to look after the kids.
Yeah, exactly. Like, these are partnership tasks. This is not just on her because she's a mother. You're a father.
Yeah.
That's telling me it adds up that his dad is a misogynist because he sounds like a misogynist. He's expecting her to do everything.
They're both pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Top comment, he's horrible. I don't care if he doesn't know how to act. You still show up. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it's even worse that he doesn't help with his own children in hard situations. I would be done. No point in a marriage where you're already doing the hard stuff alone. I'm so sorry for your losses and this situation. Yeah, there's literally no point in the marriage when you can't rely on somebody. I'm not with you so that you can give me babies and make me pregnant.
Yeah.
We're a fucking team. We're rock solid. We're a castle. We're a team. We're there for each other. We're Batman and Robin and Clark Kent and Lois Lane.
I don't know who that is.
Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're Tom and Jerry.
We're Taylor and Travis.
Yeah, I love that one. Yes.
If you know, you know. If you don't worry about it.
I'm sure everyone knows Taylor and Travis. You don't have to be a Swiftie to know that.
Now you give it away. It's supposed to be an inside joke.
Pretty obvious. That's not an inside
joke.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know. Okay. Yep. Get out of there.
All right. I agree. Moving on?
Yeah. Let's move on.
All right. Moving on. This one comes from relationship advice. I, 21 female, am thinking of breaking up with my boyfriend, 22 male, after meeting his family. I can't tell if I'm being over dramatic. I have been with my boyfriend, we'll call Andy, for just over a year. Although I have been on lots of dates before him, he is my first ever proper relationship. 3 days ago, he took me to his family's house for his dad's birthday family dinner. I was under the assumption that the only people would be there would be Andy's siblings and parents. I was wrong. His whole family was there. Aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, great-grandparents, even distant relatives he hadn't seen in years. His family is very rich and have a huge house able to accommodate everyone. I get very anxious around large groups of people, especially when I'm not expecting it and I don't know anyone, so I was sticking by Andy's side the whole night, engaging in polite conversation with everyone. When everyone was seated for dinner, Andy's mom spoke up and asked me if Andy was my first boyfriend. I confirmed and she said, "I guess I can excuse it then." When I asked her about it, she just said that I was being so clingy to Andy the whole night and not letting him see his family. I explained the situation about my anxiety to her, and all she said was, "He's a man. He needs his freedom. He doesn't need you to stick by his side." I have always been taught to defend myself, so I started to say how I was sure Andy didn't mind, and asked her not to bring this up around 30 people, but Andy interrupted me and told me not to disrespect his mother like that. I asked him how it was okay for his mother to call me clingy, but not okay for me to defend myself, and he just told me to be quiet and let his dad enjoy his birthday. I didn't want to create more of a scene, so I did that. The only thing that made me feel better was that his older sister said, "It's okay, I feel that way sometimes as well." But still, I kept getting dirty looks from everyone around the table. I was close to tears, so before dessert came, I told Andy that I didn't feel comfortable or welcome here, so I was going to go home. I stood up, claimed to be feeling sick, and that I was going to go home. No one stopped me, but Andy got up and followed me out and asked me to stay. At this point, I started crying and told him I felt so attacked in that room, and I was really upset that he didn't stand up for me, or even mention that he initiated some of the hand-holding and sticking together throughout the night. He apologized, but I told him I didn't know if I could be with someone like that. That made him start crying, asking me not to leave, and that he loved me. I just told him I needed to think and go back to my car and drove home. It's been 3 days, and he sent me a few messages before saying he'd leave me alone. I really like him, but I don't know if I can trust him to stand up for me, around his family, or even to others. I also can't help but feel I'm blowing this out of proportion, which is making me feel worse. I really love Andy, and I don't want to lose him. Can someone please give me some advice on what I should do?
Well, kind of a piece of shit mother-in-law and kind of a spineless Andy. I feel like you would have full... Like, you could go either way on this one. It depends on how you feel. If you love Andy enough, you could give it another shot. Now, that being said, I would be expecting to give it another shot. I would be expecting an apology from his mom. In order for me to be able to come back and give it another shot, I would want reassurance that his mom understood that she was wrong. And I don't just want her to say sorry and nothing. He needs to make his mom understand that that was out of line and unfair to her. Obviously, she's going to be close to Andy on the very first time that she's there. Like the mom is a bitch, because that is any time that anybody is dating someone and they're going to like a family get together, why would you expect them to be like, out, whether you have anxiety or not having anxiety, you know nobody. Why would you expect that you're just going to leave them by themselves and go do whatever you want? So I would think that you're not wrong for being hurt and everything, but I think it is salvageable. And I think it just depends on how people are reacting. Like, Andy needs to not only say that he's sorry, he needs to explain how he understands how you feel and what happened. And the mother-in-law, or to be whatever, his mom needs to not only say sorry, but absolutely has to understand that she was in the wrong.
I agree. Yeah, I think this is salvageable if boundaries are set and there's an understanding with the mother-in-law.
Yeah, like, we've been through the exact same thing. Like, when we first started dating, like the first time you came to my Christmas as Shell does. You're like, don't leave me alone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's normal. That's like every couple.
Yeah, and like when I've gone to your house and stuff like that, I'm like, please don't leave me alone
Yeah.
because I fucking know nobody.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I literally know nobody. Like, how about you have a conversation with me and your dad, and like we
A
go
group
have
setting.
conversations with everybody.
Yeah.
And this is something that you kind of told me. We like you. This could be you writing this.
I
Actually.
know.
Like this could be you
I
writing
have
this.
social anxiety. I have terrible social anxiety.
And
And
how did you feel the first Christmas that we went
bro,
to?
I had so much anxiety. Like, and this was 7 years ago
Yeah,
almost.
this was a long time ago.
You like would just, at first, you were always like hanging out with your cousins and playing with their freaking Nerf guns and stuff. And you did leave me alone.
Yeah, I ran around the house.
And I was like so mad and anxious. And I was just like, I freaking hate this. And I hated going to your family stuff because I was always so nervous.
But we had this exact same conversation
Yeah.
on the drive home after that first Christmas.
Yes.
Because you told me in the car ride home, you're like, I don't really know anybody. You can't leave me alone like that. That's not fair to me.
Yeah.
You drag me over, 40 people in the house. I know nobody. And then you leave me at the table to talk to your Uncle Larry, who I have no idea who he is. And I have to continue this conversation because I can't talk to anybody else because I'm in that. And you've gone off to shoot people with Nerf guns with your cousins and stuff. So you absolutely explained that to me. And
Yeah.
then the next time we came, like I stayed closer to you. And I stayed closer, and now I don't really need to because everybody there you're
Yeah.
very comfortable with.
It's different now, obviously, but of
At the
course, the first
beginning.
few times, it's scary, especially if you have social anxiety. So I completely feel for this girl.
And like it's also not only the fact that her mother-in-law said something, it's that she did it like as a toast. Like it was during the toast, right? She stood up and said it.
I don't know about that, but it was like 30 people were around.
It was like
They were all at the dinner table together.
Yeah, like it's not even like she pulled it aside and said that to her son.
No.
Like I just think mother-in-law's just so wrong.
Yeah.
For even thinking it, and then definitely the way that she said it seemed like putting her right on the spot in front of everybody. Like that's messed up.
I have a feeling this mom doesn't like any girlfriends that he brings around because she's probably in love with him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, for sure, yeah. But like, it's definitely salvageable. But he needs to set his mom straight.
Yeah.
I think like as the mom gets more comfortable, gets to know her, opens up her heart, everything can be fixed. But the mom needs to have a genuine apology.
Yeah, I agree.
The mom needs to understand that she was in the wrong.
Yeah. Okay, so there's edits. Edit. I just want to make it clear to everyone that 1, I'm not usually this bad in social settings. I just wasn't expecting 30 to 40 people there, and my anxiety can get the better of me. 2, I am not that upset about his mom calling me clingy. I'm upset that Andy didn't do anything and allowed me to feel humiliated in front of everyone. It was truly an isolating feeling. 3, I didn't mention this earlier because I didn't think it was relevant, but Andy's sister, 25 female, reached out to me and apologized on behalf of the family, saying that she regrets not saying more. I am planning on talking to him soon and will leave an update later.
Yeah, it's mom sucked, but it's definitely on him to stand up for her at that very moment. And
Yes.
especially when you're like, his sister is probably like smacking him upside the head
Yeah.
as well. Because she's like, I understand why she felt like this.
Because everyone's been
you
there.
have to have her back. Yeah, everyone's been there. Doesn't matter if you have anxiety or not. I feel like even if you don't have anxiety.
Yeah. It's just natural.
That's a
feel-
natural, like
Yeah.
you don't feel comfortable talking to 40 people, 30 people you have never met before.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little nerve wracking. It's like remember, like my old work had that work party and I was like dreading it. I did not want to go.
Yeah.
There's just like so many people there.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to go. Like sometimes, like I hate going to large work Christmas functions and stuff like that. So many people I don't know. Why do we have to have work functions? Just give me a little bonus. Like freaking hell.
Yep. I know. I hate social settings.
Christmas parties suck.
Yep. I know. Okay, update. I didn't read this yet.
Yes.
I listened to some of the advice you guys have given me, and I messaged Andy last night, and we met up this morning at a park near my house. I asked him to let me say my piece, and then he can come in and say what he wants to say. I told him how the whole situation made me feel, basically what I mentioned in this post, and how I felt disrespected by him and that I don't really care about his excuses as to why he did what he did. I also asked him to give his dad an apology for my behavior and causing a scene at his party, as some of the comments made me realize that I maybe didn't handle the situation in the best way possible. Once I was done, Andy told me I had nothing to apologize for and that it was not only his mom that was out of order, but also him. He told me after all the guests had left, his sister gave him and his mom an earful about their behavior and that he was truly sorry about how he treated me. Apparently his mom just meant to make me uncomfortable and not break us up, but I'm not sure I believe that. I made the decision to show Andy the post I made as to one suggestion made by a commenter and some of the responses, especially about the comments made about parental enmeshment. When he saw that, it really did make him think and agree. He told me he knows I don't care about this, but he said as the youngest of his family, his brother and cousins used to bully him relentlessly, doing stuff I won't repeat, and the only person who stood up for him was his mother, so he has quite a close relationship with her. And when the whole situation at dinner went down, he freaked out and took his mother's side. He asked for another chance to prove himself to me because he really did love me and he didn't want to lose me. I love Andy and I didn't want this to completely ruin our relationship when this was really the first major thing that happened. So I agreed to give him another chance, only if he proved to me that he was willing to stand up for me against his family, and that if anything like this happens again, I'm gone. Right now, me and Andy are friendly, but we are not jumping straight back into our relationship as we were before, just for the time being. I'm not asking him to choose between me and his family. I'm not that kind of person, but I did ask to meet his family again, maybe in a quieter setting and try to start over. If his mom is still cold to me and making me upset, then I'll figure out what to do next from there. Fortunately, me and Andy's sister have been messaging a lot, so I know that she is in my corner. As for people talking about managing my anxiety, I already see someone for that. Thanks for suggesting that for me, though. Sorry if this is worded weirdly. I'm just trying to get it all out.
I'm happy. This is very good. Yeah, and like the best thing is, like you said, the mom needs to be genuinely sorry, and she needs to be different moving forward. And yeah, it's family's one thing, but your partner needs to stand up for you, no matter what. That's the most important thing. And the fact that the sister understood it and kind of set them straight is good. And yeah, it's definitely salvageable. But the biggest thing is, and honestly, something that I'm even surprised with, like, I don't think her anxiety is actually that bad because when mom called her out, she stood up for herself.
I know, I wouldn't have. I would have just taken it.
Like severe anxiety, you would have just like shrunk away and been silent and not even said anything and just kind of like put your head down and then like left when you could. But like she actually stood up for herself. So I don't think her anxiety is that bad. I think she needs to give herself more credit.
Yeah.
Because most people would I feel in that situation wouldn't have even stood up for themselves. They would have just been a doormat and just stayed quiet. And then maybe if they were like really uncomfortable, just like left right after.
Yeah.
But exactly. The fact that she stood up for herself means like maybe her anxiety is like not as bad as she thinks it is.
That's true. That's a good point. There was one comment that she said, apparently his mom just meant to make me uncomfortable and not break us up. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like she openly admitted to that.
Yeah. Like she needs to apologize for that. Yeah. 100%.
That's weird. That's so weird.
That is weird.
And yeah, I think the enmeshment thing is definitely a factor here.
For sure. That especially with that comment. For sure.
Yeah. Top comment. You don't want to be a part of that family. Trust me. If this is how they're going to treat you for the first time you meet, it's only going to get worse. You're young. Find someone else who respects you and with a family who aren't cunts.
I only half agree with that comment because everybody deserves a second chance. You can be redeemable. Like, if they continue to be like that, yeah, absolutely, I agree. But I don't think on this one first issue that you need to cut Andy out forever. I do believe that this can be repairable.
Yeah.
Now, if you continue to go back and the mom continues to be like that, that's when you have to make the decision, and it depends on how Andy's acting, do you love Andy enough to put up with that?
Yeah, I think that top comment was posted before the update. So it does seem like Andy is apologetic, and he's trying to make it right. And I think he will, hopefully. I hope he will. So,
Yeah, I agree.
but yeah, the mom will probably be an issue.
Maybe not. I don't know. I think they're going to be happy. I think they're going to be okay. And the reason that I think that is because sister seems like she will continue to set the mom straight.
Yeah.
And how often is your mom going to continue to be like that when you and your sister are both being like, "Mom, cut it out."
That's true.
You know what I mean? When you have both of your kids coming at you for being a bitch, you kind of self-check and you're like, okay, maybe that wasn't the correct way to approach it. Maybe I just meant to make her uncomfortable. It was actually supposed to kind of be like a joke. You know, like she's clinging to her. Like, I'm going to point it out and make it a joke. Maybe mom was just trying to make it a joke because like she knows what she's doing is because she's just there and stuff. Just it was a very ill-placed joke and not having Andy stick up for her. So I think I'm leaning on the side. I hope they work everything out.
Me too.
Because I think it could be. I could be a good family. Because sister is setting mom straight. I think mom, as long as mom apologizes and is not a bitch going forward, absolutely they can be a great life together. Yeah.
Yeah. Wishing them the best.
That's probably the most repairable story we've ever heard.
Yeah. Literally.
All right, back to me. This one is posted from Am I the Asshole from 12 days ago. Am I the asshole for not wanting my sister and her children to move back into our family home? I'm going to try and keep it short. I only want to focus on the relevant aspects. So, about a year ago, my mother suffered a health crisis, and as a result, I, 28 male, moved back in with her in order to take care of her. She still has some independence, but I do drive her to and from her doctors. I go shopping for her, I help with the cleaning and everything else. She can wash herself, walk around the house, but not much more than that. My father died a few years back, and up until I moved back in, she was living on her own. Very recently, my sister, 30 female, and her husband have separated on bad terms. I don't want to go into the details, but it's a fairly hostile situation. My sister has 2 children, 1 male and 4 male, and as a result, hasn't worked in quite some time. Now she's in the process of trying to find a job, but with children, that can be quite difficult. Because of this, my mother suggested that she move back in so she could look after the children. But I am strongly against this. I feel for my sister. I do. But my mother can't really look after herself anymore, let alone provide childcare for 2 young children. If she moved in, her children would definitely become my responsibility, even though both of them say that won't happen. But I can't and don't want to add that to my plate. My sister and mother also argued that she could help with taking care of my mom. But honestly, she wouldn't be much help, and it certainly wouldn't make up for the burden of having an infant and a small child in the home. The house is big enough in terms of rooms for her to move in without being a problem, but the fact that all of the caretaking duties would inevitably fall onto me is what's making me want to put my foot down. I do feel like a complete asshole, but I've considered telling my mother that if my sister moves in, I will be moving out. So, am I the asshole?
I think you should maybe give it a shot first. I think you should see, because if they're reassuring you that you're not going to be the caregiver of those kids and they're, your sister's going to help out with the mom and everything, I think you should just try to hold them to that. And if it doesn't go as planned, then make them leave.
Yeah, it's tough because, we don't know what OP's experience has been with his sister. Like, he could see it like that he knows exactly what's going to happen, but maybe he's wrong.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you try, then you get put into this situation that can't be undone. Versus if you put the wall up first and you make sister move somewhere else, then maybe that is better. But I don't know. At the same time, like, your sister's going through a divorce.
Yeah. That's the only reason I'm like, maybe you should just give it a chance, because she's going through something terrible too.
She is. And like, if the rooms are there, then her moving in, is that really going to increase the bills? Like, does she really need to pay for anything outside of food and her kids?
Yeah.
Like, maybe she can get a part-time job or a full-time job. I think the tough part is mom's saying, oh, I'll take care of them. But OP's like, Mom, you can't take care of them. So I think that's where the hiccup was.
Yeah.
Is maybe if sister-in-law made it clear that, like, I don't need mom's help. I just need a roof over my head. I can handle this myself. Then maybe that would be a different situation. But I think it's the fact that both of them are saying, oh, mom will do some childcare. And he knows that she's not capable. So it's going to be put on him.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. I don't think you're an asshole for putting your foot down and setting those boundaries early on. I just think maybe also try to find, like, I don't know.
Where's the middle ground on this?
Know.
Where's a compromise? There is no compromise.
I don't know.
Either she moves in or she doesn't.
Yeah. Does it say, like, if she has any other options, like where else to go? Like,
didn't say. There is an edit, but let's get into the top comment. So the top comment, not the asshole. I feel for your mom and sister, but you can't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. If your sister can't even look after herself, the responsibilities of caring for her and her children will absolutely fall onto you, which is a completely untenable burden for you when you're presumably already overstretched being a young working adult with a career. Unfortunately, it's your mom's decision who moves into her house at the end of the day. My suggestion would be to move out if she moves in, but consider bringing in a caretaker for your mom. If your sister does indeed move in and you move out, this risks your mom being neglected, so the caretaker will ensure her safety.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, just to ensure that your mom is still getting the care that she needs. Caretaker is a good, I guess, compromise. I don't know.
Yeah.
Solution.
So there's an edit here. I'm getting a lot of repeat questions, so I've decided to answer them here because I realize my responses will get lost in the comments. Number 1, yes, I work full time. I'm a pathology resident. I pay for my own expenses and most of my mother's as well. I do not pay rent because my mother owns a house, but I do pay for electricity, water, heating, groceries, gas, and any out-of-pocket expenses at the doctor's. My mom has a small monthly pension that isn't able to cover her costs anymore due to the increase in medical costs, and inflation isn't exactly helping either. Number 2, the reason why I don't think my sister will be able to look after her own kids or help with our mom is because the whole point of her moving in is so that she can get help with childcare and get a job. If she were able to work and provide for her kids on her own, she wouldn't need to be moving in the first place. My sister is not escaping an abusive relationship. I said hostile to indicate that they were on bad terms and not speaking to each other, but she hasn't been abused and she isn't fleeing from him. If she were, that would be a totally different situation. She currently lives alone with her kids in their apartment, which is co-owned by her and her husband, and he is paying the utility costs as of right now.
Okay, that clears things up.
Yeah, so it sounds like the only reason she wants to move in is so that her mom will take care of her kids.
Yeah.
And he's like, our mom cannot take care of your kids. I am taking care of her. There's no way. So that makes absolute sense why he wants to put his foot down and not let her move in.
Yeah, I think that's fair then.
Because she can continue to live in her apartment. She wants to be able to get a free babysitter so then she can work. That's exactly what she wants from her mom, which isn't fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that one kind of hurts, though, because, you know, sister's asking for help and you kind of got to be like, no, it's not help. Like, this is not happening.
Yeah. You have to do what's best for you.
Yep.
And your mom.
Definitely. Seems like he only wants to do what's best for his mom.
Yeah. All right.
Moving on?
Yeah.
Back to you.
This one comes from Relationship Advice again.
It's a popular subreddit.
I know. My 30 male wife, 31 female, doesn't appreciate my bees. I'm considering divorce. What should I do? My wife, 31 female, and I, 30 male, have been married for 5 years now. I work mainly in accounting and personal finance advice, while my wife is a math teacher at our local high school. Recently, I've been researching and preparing to start a bee colony, as I have been interested in bees for a long time and have recently reached a place financially where both me and my wife are able to pay bills and have bees. Before I did anything, I spoke with my wife about my research and planned to get the bees. At first, she had some apprehensions, but we talked through them. Once we were both on the same page, I found an artificial beehive and contacted a professional beekeeper to help with the bee process, and so I began my bee journey. A week or two later, my wife comes home while I'm making dinner and tells me she invited a few work friends, all 31 female, over for dinner tomorrow. I say that's fine and continue making dinner until she requests that I move my beehive. The exchange went something like this. Wife, while I clean the house, would you mind moving your hive? It's an eyesore. Me, I'm sorry, but what do you mean by eyesore? It's outside and has plenty of distance between itself and the house. Wife, I know, but I want it further back. It just doesn't match the house, and I don't want my work friends thinking I let this house go into chaos when I'm not around. At this point, I had finished dinner and was setting up the table when I asked her, why is this an issue now? Didn't we agree on the placement before I even got the hive? And besides, it's hard to move a hive once it's been placed. Where were you thinking of moving it? She responded that she didn't care, she just didn't want to see it. After that, we sat down for dinner and I asked again where she wanted me to move the hive, stating that the closest forest wasn't on our property and the second option would be by the back porch. My wife repeated her answer, that she didn't care, she just didn't want to see it, and we continued on as normal. We ate, we cleaned the house in preparation, did our respective night routines, then went to bed. The next day, my wife and I wake up around 5 a.m. to do our morning routines, eat breakfast, and head to work. Around 4 o'clock, my wife calls me while I'm still at work. The high school gets done around 3 p.m., and I excuse myself from a conversation I'm having with a coworker, and I go to a quiet corner of the break room. I pick up, and my wife starts screaming at me that I didn't move the hive, and now her work friends have to see my hideous beehive. I try and get her to calm down by apologizing and saying I forgot and that I can drive over and move it quickly. My wife cuts me off and says it's too late and she'll do it herself before she hangs up. I'm standing in the break room confused and angry, so I try to focus on my work and deal with it later. I get home that night to my wife sitting at the table reading her book. She welcomes me home and I ask her about her day. She says, "It was good, a little stressful, but nothing I couldn't handle." I then decide to bite the bullet and ask about the beehive and how she handled it. Wife, oh yeah, your bees. I almost forgot. It was hard moving the beehive because the bees kept stinging me. So when I tried to set it down, it fell and broke. So I left it there because it is your hive after all. Me, you broke my hive? How long has it been sitting like that? Wife, it's been like that since I called you. I looked out the window to see my hive laying on the ground. Parts of the walls were broken, as well as the legs and other crucial parts of the hive. When I took a step outside to get a closer look, I saw my bees flying around, unsure of where to go. I called the beekeeper contact and asked for a description of the damage. When I told him, he said that there isn't much that he can do, but he'll call a friend to try and fix the things that they can. I thanked him, hung up the phone, and walked back inside feeling defeated. When I re-entered the house, I walked upstairs, not even glancing at my wife. I took a shower and cried. My dream of having a beehive of my own was gone, and there wasn't much I could do. When I got out of the shower, my wife was already in bed. I crawled in next to her, and I laid awake for hours, questioning our relationship. And if she really loves me, why didn't she leave the hive alone? I have been contemplating divorce, as I realized that after she destroyed my hive, she has never even apologized, nor does she seem empathetic in the slightest. I tried asking for an apology, and all I got was, "Why should I apologize for doing you a favor?" I never asked for an apology since, and I'm wondering how I never noticed this behavior from her before, and I don't know what to do. Deep down, I still love her, but she also can't understand why I'm so upset. What should I do?
Man, this one hurts. I would just like to say, starting off, that I think it's very noble to have a bee colony because,
I think that's great.
I think it's noble.
Yeah.
Because, like, bees are
They're-
declining
Yeah.
and they pollinate everything.
They keep us alive.
If the bees are gone, we die.
We're gone. Yeah.
So I think everybody should have a freaking beehive in their backyard.
Everyone listening.
I think it's very noble. Now that he said this, I've never wanted a beehive before. I want a fucking beehive now. When we buy our property, I'm going to put a beehive on it.
Let's do it.
Why not?
Yeah.
I also, like I saw this one thing where like the dude had a beehive and like literally at the bottom of the beehive was a tap. And he just opened it up and fresh honey came out. Yeah, he had it like,
wow.
They built it and they patented it and they set it in a way like you buy this beehive and like you don't have to go through and like scrape it or anything like that. It just automatically like goes in and you just have a tap at the bottom.
That's so cool. Now I want a beehive.
I want a beehive too.
Wow.
Like it's a noble thing to do. And the fact that your wife is just so heartless, doesn't care.
She
and
is.
And like there's like two issues that I see here. One is like he said they decided on where they're going to put it together. And if she had a problem with how ugly it looked, maybe he could have done something about that. He could have bought a different one. He could have got one custom made. He could have put an outside shell on the beehive. So, because I know some beehives, they look like a white box. They're just like a tall white box and they have like slides for the hives and stuff. And they're kind of ugly. Like they're minimalistic. They just get the job done. They're kind of ugly. But if it wasn't up to her standards, you could make it look better. You could design it to go inside of something that looks appropriate.
Yeah.
And then
prevented.
Yeah. And then when he asked her, where can I put it? You can't answer.
Yeah.
You can't tell him where to put it. Oh, put it at the back in the corner. Just get a little farther away. Put it in the porch. Wherever. You literally couldn't even give him an answer and he asked twice.
Yeah. I know. There's a lot of red flags, honestly. And the fact that she, like, cares so much about what her friends think, like, more than, like, her husband's passion.
It's your partner. Passion project. Like,
if your friends are going to judge you, like, maybe they shouldn't be your friends. Like,
exactly.
You're inviting your friends over. So,
And most likely your friends would be like, oh, a beehive. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's noble. Not like, oh, that thing's ugly.
Yeah.
Your face is ugly.
Damn.
This would be like, I'm like, I need to like clear storage on my computer to like get access to something. And I just delete all your Taylor Swift stuff.
Yeah, I know. Like, I
needed to clear out the closet because I needed room for my suits. So I just threw out a bunch of clothes.
Yeah, I know. It's not.
Threw out a bunch of your clothes without asking you.
Honestly, this is worse, I feel. Like, this is something that he's been wanting. Like, he said he was crying after. Like,
he had this conversation with her about whether he can do it and stuff. It's like, if you had any issues, that was your time to bring it up.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, she's evil, I feel.
Yeah, heartless. Who's so heartless they don't care about the bees? Save the bees.
Or your husband.
Yeah, and like save the bees.
Yeah, that too, but like she doesn't care about her husband.
Yeah.
That's like more important here. But yeah. Top comment. OP, it doesn't matter if it's an art piece, favorite coffee mug, vegetable garden, or bees. It's something you were passionate about and made you very happy. And she knew that. And she purposefully destroyed it. Whether her dislike for your bees outweighed her care for what matters to you, or she did it to hurt you, I don't know. Neither is acceptable. I think you need to tell her how serious this is. Tell her how you're contemplating divorce, and don't let her spin this into it's just a beehive.
Absolutely. I wouldn't say like she purposely destroyed it. It's more of the fact that she just gave so little of a fuck that when it broke while she was moving it, it was, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like she went out there with a baseball bat and just fucked up your shit because she was mad at you. It was just that fact that she had so little care that when she was moving it and it broke, she could care less.
Yeah.
Which is just slightly less disgusting.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, no. And like when he came home and he was like, how was your day? He was like, yeah, it was fine. It was good. Not really much going on. He's like, what about my beehive? Like, what happened with it? She's like, oh yeah, that. Yeah, it broke.
Yeah, I lit it on fire. It's over there in the corner.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, oh yeah, that.
You couldn't tell me? Couldn't do anything?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I would. There's definitely see them getting divorced over this.
I would. I always say I would. But would I? I don't know.
Would you really?
Like if you did this. I don't know if I
But I
would
destroyed your beehive. I don't know. It's just like it's like
It's
all
just
those
a lack
other
of
issues. Yeah, it's a
respect.
lack of respect for someone's passion project.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. This one is posted 12 days ago. It's coming from AITA Am I the asshole for not trusting my husband after he depleted our savings to pay for his dog's surgery?
This one's gonna make me sad.
Yeah. And angry at the same time.
Great.
All right, let's go. My mother in law asked my husband a year and a half ago to watch over her dog for her for when she went to surgery and rehab following the surgery. She's a healer. I apparently didn't have any say in it because I didn't know until the dog was at my house. I had a problem with this from the beginning. The dog was completely untrained. There were multiple times the dog would jump up on our table and steal food out of the kids' plates and then growl at you when you corrected her. She went after my cats multiple times. She shit in the house constantly. No matter how often she was outside, she would do the zoomies in the garage for about 40 minutes, then come inside and immediately squat to shit. And she nipped at me and my husband's faces, but not the kids, oddly enough. Hard enough to draw blood, too. If you pulled away before she got you, you could hear the teeth smashing against each other like a snap. I didn't want the dog, and I expressed it 100 times. He refused to get rid of her because of his mother, despite his mother having been out of rehab for over a month at that point. Well, his mom told us 3 months ago that she would be taking the dog back in April. But 2 weeks ago, she comes to our house and surprise, surprise, she has a new dog.
Oh.
She told us, well, you've had her for so long that I figured you could just keep her. I had just found out I was pregnant a month prior to this. I told my husband that there was no way we were keeping this dog. I never even wanted the dog here. He eventually said okay and found a nice couple who owned a giant farm to take care of her for an overnight and to see if they would be a good fit. That was 3 days ago. We got a call the very next morning saying the dog had been hit by a car.
What?
He rushed us to go get her and bring her to the emergency vet. She needed amputation, surgery on her front paw, surgery on her pelvis, metal plates put in, and a lot more. The total for the surgeries was almost $13,000. They told us prior to doing any of the work that they had a healer rescue who was willing to take her if we couldn't afford the surgeries. I go back out to the car at this point because I'm feeling nauseous from not eating anything and being pregnant. He comes out like half an hour later and tells me that he's paid $7,800 towards the cost from our savings account and opened an animal care credit card to cover the rest, which has a 26% interest if you don't pay back the full cost in 6 months. Now he's saying we can't get rid of the dog because she has been through too much and that, quote unquote, she's his friend. I'm so wildly repulsed by this that I can't even look at him the same anymore. This is divorce territory for me. All of our savings are now gone, and we are looking at going into debt because of this 26% interest card that he opened up to pay for the rest. And now he expects me to deal with carrying the dog around and squatting around the yard for her to go to the bathroom when I already have hypertension from my pregnancy. I have been deemed high risk. I told him I don't think I can stay with him after this. I do not trust him anymore. There were options. They had a healer rescue willing to take the dog and cover the cost, but he insisted to throw us into debt over a dog that he told me he was going to get rid of, and I'm all set. He said I'm an asshole for not seeing his point on this. I do see his point. He loves the dog, obviously, but we are pregnant and he just depleted our savings over a dog that bites faces, and I don't think I want to be with him anymore. Am I the asshole?
No, I don't think so. Especially because there was someone there who would have paid for the surgery. I think if there wasn't, this would be a different situation.
Honestly, I don't think so.
Well, okay, maybe not, but I think he should have definitely consulted her with it. Like, he should have asked her before he spent that.
Yeah, and she would have said
Like,
no.
yeah. It's tough. Yeah, I mean, everyone knows I'm an animal lover, so it would be hard for me to say just let the dog go if there wasn't someone else. But there was someone else. So, yeah, I don't think you're an asshole. It's really tough, especially because you're expecting another baby. And he said that he wanted to get rid of the dog too. So I don't know where this is coming from.
It sounded like he never wanted to get rid of the dog.
But he said he did. So
Well,
that's
he would. Not that he wanted to, but
I don't know. It's yeah. It would make me question like where his um loyalties are, I guess. Like
yeah, like
where's priorities are.
priorities, like
yeah.
like it hurts and it's tough, and I don't want to say put the dog down, but if you have to think about it, you have two kids. You have
Yeah.
another one on your way. You can't
Yeah.
just deplete your savings, especially if all of your savings was only $8,000. Like it's
Yeah.
another thing
If you had
if
money.
you got 50, 100, couple
Yeah.
100,000 in the bank, and it's like I paid a $15,000 vet bill.
Yeah.
But when you don't even have enough savings to cover
Yeah.
the whole thing, you have two kids to take care of and another one on the way. I'm sorry, and it hurts to say, but you have to put the dog down at that point if there's no other options. But there literally was
There was.
another option in
Yeah.
this situation.
Yeah.
And even before all of it got to this point, it's a huge red flag when he didn't even ask her to bring the dog home.
Yeah.
Didn't even tell her how long the dog's going to be there for.
Yeah.
The dog's there for a year. I would have been furious the day the dog came home.
Mm-hmm.
We have two cats. I don't need this dog. And as soon as the
Yeah.
dog nipped, as soon as the dog chased after my cats, I'm like, we don't have, like, I guess it's for us. We had firsthand experience with our cat got nipped by a dog and it cost us $5,000 to get her jaw put back into place. Like, those things are huge red flags and unacceptable for me to have this slightly aggressive dog.
Yeah.
Even being in our house. And then to
And the
get to
fact that
this
it's around the
point.
kids too. Like not
Yeah.
only the cats, but like the kids.
And the fact that the mom just shows up with another dog saying, oh, you can keep that one.
So irresponsible.
What the
Like
hell?
wildly irresponsible. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so sad for like animals though, like this. Like people get animals thinking like it's gonna be easy and like, you know, they don't treat animals they do like they should, like a kid. Like if you are set out to get a dog or a cat, like you have to see that through. Like you can't just like it's not a disposable thing, like
Yeah.
whether it works or it doesn't, like you can get rid of it. Like no.
No.
I don't think like I hate people who do that.
You don't get to pick up a puppy and then when you didn't do a job training it
Yeah.
and then it's too misbehaved, you get to just drop it off at a shelter because you can't handle it. No.
No. I freaking hate that.
You
So
have to deal with that for the rest of their life.
yeah. So just think before you get these animals. Like they are animals. Like they might not be human, but
And
they're
they're not going to be perfect.
yeah, like I don't know. It makes me sad.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
But yeah, I think he definitely should have spoken to her about it. And obviously she would have said no. But there was another option, which would have been a great option too. Like the dog would have had the surgery and he would have had like a loving home for him. And now this home is going to be hostile for that dog because he's not going to be wanted.
He OP makes a comment and says the older couple told him they would cover the entire cost.
Yeah.
And he outright refused.
That's crazy. Come on. At that point, you're just being selfish. You're not even thinking about the dog.
Yep.
You're just being selfish.
Yeah. Exactly.
It would have been in the dog's best interest if you just gave him away.
Yep.
Urgh. I don't like that one.
There is an interesting top comment on this one.
Let's hear it.
Top comment. Not the asshole. I'm a dog lover, but this dog seems to be putting you and your kids at risk. I'm wondering if he didn't ask his mother for the dog and he used the guise of, we're taking care of her while she's in recovery. And then even more interesting, the comment to this comment. Accountant here, not the asshole. He's a cheater. Just a different kind than most people think of when they hear that word. He made a major financial decision without consulting you or gaining your agreement. Worse, it involved joint funds that belonged to you as much as it did to him. Even worse, he knew you didn't want the dog and y'all had already agreed for another plan for the dog. And last but not least, he cleared out your entire savings and incurred debt to fund his decision. This is straight up financial infidelity. There are several different websites you can read about financial infidelity that define it, and many focus on the most common form of financial infidelity: hiding and or spending money and lying about it, as in hidden credit, secret bank accounts. Your husband committed the less common form of financial infidelity: spending joint funds and making a significant purchase without your consent. One textbook states, if you or your partner are pulling from your shared cash to spend on things that are not mutually agreed upon, you're committing financial infidelity. Forbes summarized it as unilateral financial decision making. There are a few things that can lead to financial infidelity, but in your specific case, only one of the reasons fit. And so I don't have to type it out. I Googled the verbiage and got a result that summarizes it well. Per choosingtherapy.com, one of the causes of financial infidelity is narcissism. Narcissism definition. People with narcissistic personality disorder often feel entitled to any money brought into a relationship and do not see a need to run financial decisions by a partner. This can lead to situations where the partner of someone with NPD is vulnerable to financial abuse and left out of decisions around finances in the relationship. Other websites go into how a partner might just not want to have to compromise, so only tell their partner after such decisions were made so they can avoid including them in any decision making that may result in them not getting what they want. They're basically saying the same thing. You are not the asshole. Your husband is the asshole. He wanted something and determined that his want was so great that it justified stealing your half of the savings to add to his own, as well as taking on an honestly horrific debt to enable him to complete this absolute batshit crazy expenditure. You are a family who now has zero savings, an additional horrific debt, and a medically impaired dog who will require constant care that he expects you to provide. And a husband who has the nerve to call you the asshole because you don't see his point. His point is no more relevant than yours. Just as the joint savings he wiped out was no more his than yours. If he really believed that he had a valid point, he should have made it before he stole your half of the joint savings. I'm so sorry you procreated with this man. Better leave now, though, before he has a chance to do more damage. Although I can't imagine how that would be possible since he's cleared you out already and then some. If he'll do this, he'll do anything.
Damn.
Yeah, then the next comment says, OP got cheated on by her husband with his dog. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's funny. Oh my God. Yeah, no, he raised, or that commenter raised a lot of good points there. I think, yeah, he is a bit of a narcissist for thinking that he can make those decisions by himself and not even think about asking you for your opinion or your permission.
Exactly. Do you ever think that I'm a narcissist sometimes?
About what?
I don't know, anything. I feel like you've called me narcissistic in the past.
No, when?
I have no idea. Maybe there's been other people, or maybe I've thought of her myself, but I don't think I'm narcissist anymore because I never feel entitled to your money. I never feel entitled to your money. So I don't think I'm narcissistic. That made me feel better.
I've never called you a narcissist, just for the record.
Okay. Maybe like a joking way or something. Ever?
No, I don't.
I'm not trying to put you on blast or anything like that. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to put you on blast on the podcast or anything. I'm just I don't know. I feel like I've been called narcissistic in the past. Maybe it wasn't you and it was like other people or something. Maybe it was Madison. I don't mean to put Madison on blast. I don't know.
Dude,
Maybe I just myself, I felt
maybe.
narcissistic
I
in the
don't know.
past. But I don't feel this way anymore.
I'm glad. You shouldn't.
Yeah, because I've never felt entitled to your money.
Oh, that's good. I haven't felt that you felt that. So
That's good. That's good.
that
That's good.
was so random.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, it's also funny that OP is a financial advisor.
No.
Or was that for my story?
I think that was yours. I think
Okay.
OP is stay-at-home mom. Doesn't say.
Sorry, not OP. OP's husband.
No, OP husband is not. No, he's
Okay.
like he works. I think OP makes a comment on it somewhere.
Okay, never mind. Sorry. I think it was my story. But that comment came from an accountant. So
Yeah,
that's funny.
that comment came from an accountant. He works. Or OP's husband works at a shipyard.
Okay.
But there's not much work, so he's not even like working that much.
Yeah.
Run. Definitely, I can see that absolutely being divorce worthy. Yep.
Agreed.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Moving on.
Moving on.
My last one here.
Your last one? What? We're almost at the end of this episode?
Almost
No
at the
way.
end.
If you guys have been enjoying the ride, if you have, please give us a 5-star liking on Spotify. Yeah.
I, 22 female, have been diagnosed with ADHD, autism, dyslexia, dyspraxia, low muscle issues, anxiety, and I'm slightly blind. I got diagnosed from the age of 2 to 7 with everything. Due to all of my diagnoses, I have been unable to drive anywhere. I can still bus places and take Ubers, but being driven somewhere is sometimes the best option for me. Multiple doctors told my parents I would be unable to drive due to being slightly blind and having anxiety. As I'm unable to hold a full-time job, I don't have heaps of money coming in, so Ubers are usually a last resort. Yesterday, I asked my dad if he could pick me up, as the bus I was supposed to take never came. When he went to pick me up, he made a few comments saying it would be a lot easier if I could drive, and how I should learn to drive anyways, despite the fact that the doctors don't want me to, and he hates having to pick me up all the time. I replied that it's just what happens when you have a disabled child, and it's something that you have to put up with. He took massive offense to that and told my mom, who thought I was being incredibly rude. He picks me up once or twice a week at most. Am I the asshole? Come on. Don't hesitate with this one.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Just seems like a little odd. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, that hurts. No wonder you have anxiety when you have all these other fucking issues.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
It's not his fault.
No, it's not his
He
fault.
literally cannot drive. So
yeah, your doctors don't recommend it. So, yeah, no, not the asshole. Dad's a fucking asshole.
yes, 100%. And yeah, I think what he said is true.
Yeah, snap back.
It's true. Like, yeah. Overall vote, not the asshole. Top comment.
That's just tough, though.
Yeah,
It's just a hard situation.
I know. Top comment. So I'm not judging here because there isn't really anything to judge, but I will posit this question. Do you expect him to drive you everywhere for the rest of your life? Do you have a plan, or how will you gain that measure of independence? Someone else replied, not really directing this at you, just at the world at large, since I've been dealing with this in a different area of my life, and I think it bears repeating. Sometimes people are disabled in such a way that what's traditionally considered independence, driving being the main example here, is probably not something they're ever going to achieve, and that's not a moral failing. Sometimes it's just the way it is, and if you're someone dealing with that, you shouldn't be made to feel ashamed for it. Again, not saying you were saying anything negative, it's just that hearing someone bring up independence in the context of this post made me want to add this. Edit to add, since I've gotten quite a lot of feedback about this comment, I'm not saying that OP shouldn't look at practical solutions. Quite a few people on this thread have given him great advice, and I would encourage OP and anyone in a similar situation to look at the resources people have brought up. The point of my comment was that some people are talking about this like the act of not being able to drive is a moral failing on OP's part, and it's not. It's a problem. She needs to be willing to explore solutions to the problem. And from her comments, it sounds like she is. But the fact that her problem exists doesn't make her or anyone else who struggles with similar disabilities a bad person.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not her fault.
No, not at all. I agree with all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's just tough. And yeah, unfortunately, like as a parent, you have to be prepared. Like we've discussed in the past, you have to be prepared that your child can come with any mental, physical, any kind of disabilities. And if you're having a child, like you have to consider that before having a child. Like you have to be there to provide for them.
Exactly.
And even though OP is 22, she's still living at home under your roof, under your care. Like she has these issues that she needs assistance with. It will fall on you.
Absolutely.
So
you made the choice. She didn't ask to be brought into this world.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Yeah, just no one hurts.
Yep. All right.
Moving on.
Yep. Let's wrap it up. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too. What are we getting for dinner tonight?
Boba Box.
Boba Box. Great place if you live in downtown Toronto and Fort York area. I always get the black pepper beef box, bento box. Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm starving.
Yeah, but we got to get to this. My last story here.
Let's go.
Let's go. Story number 12.
Woohoo.
Before we get into the story,
okay,
we recently started a Patreon account.
We did. We just filmed our first episode today.
We did.
We're wearing the same outfits.
What are the benefits of our Patreon account, Teresa? Tell them.
You guys are going to get 1 extra episode a week, 4 episodes a month if you join our Patreon account.
That's huge.
I think that's a great freaking deal.
I think that's a solid offering.
Yeah.
When are they coming out?
Fridays. Every Friday. So you'll get the Tuesday episode that's going to be public for everyone. And then you'll get every Friday. So twice a week for you guys.
Extra bonus, super juicy content for you guys.
Denver's going to put the link to our Patreon in the Spotify, YouTube description.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Put it everywhere you need it. Just everywhere. It'll be there. You look for it, it'll be there. You can also just search us on Patreon. ThreadTalk Podcast. We pop right up.
Perfect.
And then maybe, if you're not listening to this the day this goes live, maybe you're listening to this like 2 years after this has gone live and you're like a big fan and you've been going through all of the content. There could be like 50, 100, 200 episodes on there for a whole new library for you guys to unlock. Mm-hmm. So I'm just throwing that little bit in there for the very far future. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Let's get into the story. Mine, guess where it's coming from?
Relationship advice.
It is. Yeah. How'd you know that? All right. This one was from 8 days ago. I just found out I would have no claim to my fiance's and I's marital home. I feel deceived and I don't know how to proceed. I've been engaged to my fiance, Matt, 35 male, for 6 months now. I, 34 female, am also 7 months pregnant. And I have a 4-year-old child from a previous marriage. We had plans to marry 5 months ago, but his grandfather passed away, and in order to observe a mourning period, we postponed our wedding. Now, I'm making this post precisely because I read another story here about how a husband tried to financially screw his wife over by getting his dad's name on the property and then transferring it to him so that the property isn't connected at all to the marriage and by extension, the wife. I'm also a stay-at-home parent to my 4-year-old and have been nesting for our baby on the way. My fiance has been in the family business with his dad for many years now, and we rent right now. I already knew of my fiance's plans for our first home together, which is currently in the process. He has put down deposits for our home in his dad's name, which will be transferred to him shortly. He said that this is for tax purposes, and I never bothered doing any research on this, but now I can see this is to ensure that he doesn't lose the house in case we separate. We have a prenup, and I talked to him about this, and I agreed that this is his asset from money saved over the years, and now I can't help but wonder if I should have known better. I don't have a good feeling about this, especially since we have been having talks about reviewing our prenup. He says he is doing this to ensure the prenup doesn't get overturned and that he needs this to feel secure in our relationship. Before meeting him, I was living by child support, and I still am, and private tutoring kids, but after getting pregnant, I wanted to focus on family and I stopped working. I mean, I can pick up tutoring at any time since I am licensed, but the fact that I cannot have any claim on our marital home seems wrong. How should I proceed?
Is she going to be paying mortgage on it?
I don't think so because it sounds like she's a stay-at-home. She's a stay-at-home wife. Stay-at-home mom. She's not working.
I guess the only advice I would have is like ask him about it. I think just
Have the conversation.
yeah. I don't know what else there is to do. Like,
Yeah, I think you have to have a conversation. Like, she read another story about how someone got fucked, and now she's
Yeah.
worried if that's happening to her.
that's in
But
her head.
that could be in her head. Could not be. Could be a smart thing, but you have to have a conversation now.
Yeah, I think it's definitely smart to
Does her
bring it up.
Yeah, like does your prenup say that you're not allowed 50% of the marital home?
Yeah. What does it mean by marital home?
It's like the house that you share together,
Okay.
that you live in together. Like your parents' house is their marital home.
Okay.
It just means that like you guys both have rights to it, no matter how much, no matter whom paid what.
But even if it's in his name, if they divorced,
If she lived there, it would be their marital home.
It would
She'd
be-
be owed half.
yeah, right?
Yeah. No matter whether she paid a lot or didn't.
Right?
Because
So
it's
I'm
a
confused.
marital home.
I'm confused about what the issue is now.
Well, if it's their marital home and she doesn't get access to any of it when they divorce, she's left with nothing.
Well, why wouldn't she have access to it? Is it in the prenup or she doesn't know?
I think because of the way that it was being put under his dad's name and not under his name. So then it wouldn't be their marital home because he didn't own it. I think. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Little
Maybe
slow.
people can let us know in the comments and give us some more details on this.
Yeah.
There is 2 edits. Edit 1. He is majorly... Actually, before I get into the edits, let's get into the top comment.
Yeah.
Top comment is, never be a stay-at-home mom to a boyfriend. Nah,
Wait, they're not married? Or they're getting married?
they're fiancé.
Okay, yeah.
They're getting married. Second comment said, how did you have a prenup prepared without having your own attorney review it and advise you about it? That is standard part of the process and a huge right you gave up. So edit 1. He is majorly financing the house through his savings plus sale of 1% shares. It also includes some of my own savings accumulated over the years. 10% of the whole initial deposit value. Edit 2. I know my contribution is small, but I still came forward and offered to finance some part of our new home. And he took it, and now I feel foolish. I don't know, I just feel upset that my fiance knew this will screw me over. His lawyer probably told him to do that without consulting me so that I don't stop him, and now it's too late. Plus, as a homemaker, I do most of the housework, and in the event we separate, I'd like to be compensated for that. I just can't believe he did that. I'm floored right now. I just feel like I knew just enough so that I don't accuse him of non-disclosure, and he can openly claim that I didn't do my research with my own lawyer. I've been extremely busy with pregnancy and managing my 4-year-old's ADHD, so he knew I wouldn't have the time to do due diligence. I trusted him to keep me safe. I feel like he took advantage of how bad it's been for me.
Oh, wow. That's slimy.
Yeah, it seems it, but it seems like there hasn't even been a conversation.
Yeah, she hasn't even like
She just
yeah.
thinks. Like, it's not actually confirmed that's happening.
Yeah.
She just read another post about it, and now she's worried that it's happening to her.
Okay, wait, but it's in his dad's name, the house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it sounds tough to be put in that situation, pregnant, and feel like you're getting fucked over by your fiance.
And it's not too late because you haven't married him yet.
Yeah, it's true.
You did give him the money, though.
You're just stuck with that baby bump.
You did give him the money, too.
Yeah,
So
which was like all your savings.
yeah, that's pretty shitty.
Yep, that's a tough one. We'll leave it on that.
All right.
Will we end it on that?
End it on that.
We got no life updates for you guys, so if you guys listened all the way to the end, just waiting for Denver and Teresa's life updates.
Do we not?
The only thing I got for you is I recently finished my motocross vlog from California.
Oh,
Put
yeah.
that up on our joint YouTube travel channel. Maybe I'll leave a link in the description below. You guys can help pump up that algorithm over there on that video. But I don't think I got anything else.
What's the YouTube channel?
Teresa and Denver.
No.
Denver and Teresa. I don't know. It's both of our names.
It's Denver and Teresa, yes.
Yeah, just search Denver and Teresa and that'll pop up. You can check out our California vlogs. If you go way far back, you can even find our Euro vlogs from 2019 when we first started the channel.
Those need to be removed.
No, I love those ones. They only have like 100 views each, but they're great.
They need to be removed. Those are
If
so
you do watch them,
embarrassing.
drop a comment down below. Say that
No.
you're from ThreadTalk so that I know. I watch. Their back channel barely gets any comments, so I read every single one. Also, this channel, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're enjoying it from Spotify, and you came over on YouTube because you want to see what our face looks like, I don't have a beard. I'm sorry to disappoint you. If you join the channel as a membership for $1 a month, you get early access to all the latest episodes, sometimes up to 6 days early. So great benefits there as well.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time, it's really early.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with it. I'm a hard worker with editing up these vlogs.
Hell yeah.
I take this as a serious, full-time profession.
Yes.
I work hard.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's all. That's all we have. Thank you all so much. And if you made it this far and you've enjoyed our content, please give us a like and a rating and review, and because that really helps us out. So we really appreciate you all listening, and until next time.
Yeah, and one other thing, actually. Share this with 2 of your friends, please.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Just if you thought something would relate to one of your friends, just share the whole Spotify or YouTube link and just send it their way and tell them that they need to listen, and because we're awesome. Yep.
And make them listen.
Go over to their house and put it on their TV.
Don't leave until they're done.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thank you guys so much, and peace out. We'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
What? What?
I don't know. I'm so tired. We filmed 2 episodes today. I'm like
Okay.
dead. I don't know what I said. See you next Tuesday, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hope you found that funny.